Okay, let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs goaltending situation, specifically their backup. Now, Frederik Andersen their starter hasn't been doing too well in the last few games or so, and there's load management, which is a concern for him. Now, Hutchinson, who's been their backup, who's actually won a few games since the coaching change with Keefe behind the bench now, has regressed a little bit as well. And there's not much trust there. I mean, I think the thing is, if you were to go in the playoffs right now, would Hutchinson win you a game? Maybe. Would he win you a series? Definitely not. I mean, I think that'll be the consensus. So, who's out there? Who are they looking at? Besides Georgiev, who we will get to, but there's some other goalies who I thought we'd skim through. Starting with Jack Campbell of the LA Kings. I think he's one of the most likely guys, the top three guys who the Leafs are looking at. Now, he's 28 years old. He's 6'2". He's making $675,000 this year and $1.65 million the next two seasons. If LA needed to, they could eat some of that money. If Toronto had asked them to, they've got just over $10.8 million in cap space at the moment. Now, looking at his numbers, in last season, he had a .928 save percentage. Not bad in 31 games played. He was near the top of the league most of the year. Now, so far this season, in 17 games, it's .904. But even his numbers in the 2017-18 season, he only played 5 games, but he had a .924 save percentage then too. So for 3 years, why not? And he might not be able to steal you a series, but I think he'd be a pretty decent backup. Now, next up, Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's talk about Casey DeSmith. The Leafs were originally interested in Tristan Jarry towards the beginning of the season, but yeah, that's not happening right now. He's on his way to the All-Star game. So Casey DeSmith, he's 28 years old. He's been playing in the AHL all season this season, by the way. He's 6 foot, a little small for a goaltender, which I want to say the average is around 6'2". But he's making $1.25 million through the 21-22 season. So not bad. It's a workable amount. Now, the cap space that Pittsburgh has right now is just over $2.3 million. So I'm not sure if they'd be able to retain anything. The Leafs are tied under the cap. There'll have to be like an even swap of money going both ways. That's why it's a little difficult for a trade there. Now, in the 2 seasons ago, in 2017-18 season, he had a .921 save percentage in 14 games. Last season, in 36 games, .916 save percentage. This season in the AHL, so far in 26 games, .904. And his numbers aren't that good in the AHL. But he comes up to the NHL, and they're decent. So definitely quality-wise, this could be a goalie they're looking at. It would, again, like I said, it'd have to be numbers in, number out. Next team, we're talking about the Detroit Red Wings and Jonathan Bernier, who's 31 years old. He's 6 foot, so he's small for a goaltender. He signed through this season and next at $3 million. So a little on the pricey side, which is why this will probably be an unlikely target, unless Detroit eats some money, which is possible because they have got just over $10 million or so in cap space at the moment. Now, in 2017-18, when Bernier was with Colorado, he had a .913 save percentage in 37 games. Not bad. Last season with Detroit in 35 games, .904. Considering where he's playing, not bad. Their defense is only slightly less better than the Maple Leafs. See how I phrase that? In 28 games this season, he's got a .904 save percentage again. So, I just the money part of it, I just don't see working. But it's a possibility. There's also Jimmy Howard, but he's got worse numbers than Bernier, like a lot worse this season, anyways. At 18 games at a .880 save percentage, and yeah, he's making like $4.1 million plus 1.1 in bonus money and. Yeah, forget about it. Now, next up is another guy who I think is pretty likely, and that's Ryan Miller of the Anaheim Ducks. Now he's 39. He's 6'2". He's good size and everything. He's a veteran. He's seen it all. He's and he's only signed through this season, and then he's a UFA. And he's making $1.125 million. Very friendly cap hit. The Ducks have just over $4.9 million in cap space, so there can be some salary retention there. And his numbers kind of speak for itself for the most part. In 2017-18, he had a .9287 save percentage in 28 games. Last season in 20 games, .912. Not bad. Remember, we're talking about the Ducks, one of the bottom feeders in the league for the last while. And this season, so far in 12 games, he's only had a .899 save percentage. But, again, Anaheim. I think he would be my third or fourth choice for the Leafs to go after. And Anaheim probably wouldn't ask for much. And it's a nice cap hit. So there's that. Next up, this guy, I struggle to put him on this list at all. But seeing as how the Minnesota Wild are now 9 points out of a wild card spot, I thought I'd throw Alex Statlock in there, who, funny enough, played like 10 or so games for Toronto's AHL affiliate, the Toronto Marlies, at one point. Now he's 32 and he's 6 foot, so smaller-ish. But he is only making $785,000, but that's through the 21-22 season. So I don't know. The Wild do have just over $6 million in cap space at the moment. And they do have Capo Kakinen sitting in the minors, who I know had a cup of coffee so far. He played like 5 games, and he's got a .913 save percentage. He's their goalie of the future, really. He's 23 years old. Now, Statlock in 2017-18 season had a .910 save percentage in 28 games. Last season, in 21 games, a .899 save percentage. Ouch. And then this season so far in 22 games, he's played quite a bit. He's had a .899 save percentage. Oh, sorry, .903. I was looking at the wrong numbers. .903 for this season in 22 games. Maybe if it's dirt cheap. I don't know. He's not on my top 5 at all. But next up, we've got from the New Jersey Devils, Louis Dominique. And he's 27 years old. He's one of the youngest goaltenders on this list. 6'3". He's big, though. This guy's very kind of up and down kind of goaltender. You never know what you're going to get one season for the next, though. That's why he's kind of scares me. But he's making $1.15 million this year, and then he's a UFA afterwards. So the money's not bad. And Jersey's got a ton of cap space, over $13 million, so they could even retain some of that money if necessary. His numbers in 2017-18 with the Tampa Bay Lightning were .914. He split that season with Arizona, where he had a .856 save percentage. Just, night and day, right? Arizona was 7 games. Tampa Bay was 12 games. Now, in the last season with Tampa Bay, he had a .908 save percentage. Not great, but not bad. And then this season, he's kind of mixed it up between New Jersey, who he was traded to, and the AHL. So in New Jersey, in 9 games, he's had a .898 save percentage. Again, it's New Jersey. They're one of the bottom 6 teams in the league. But here's the weird thing. In the AHL, with Tampa Bay's Syracuse Crunch, he had a .863 save percentage, just awful. And then with New Jersey's AHL team in Binghamton, in 6 games, he had a .930 save percentage. Again, like what? Yeah, I'd see him as a bit risky. If they could have picked him up in the offseason, it might have been one thing, but I don't know. It's a possibility, I guess. Now, before we get to Georgiev, I got 2 more, just a couple guys left here. There's Craig Anderson from Ottawa, who's in the last year of his contract. He's 38. He's 6'2". The size is there. His numbers have been pretty poor the last few seasons, including this one. But again, it's with Ottawa. .897 save percentage this season in 21 games. But he's been always great in the playoffs. He's got terrific numbers in the playoffs. The problem is, last time he was in it was 2016-17. So, yeah. And he does make $4.75 million this year, but I mean, Ottawa could eat a bunch of that if they wanted to with $12.4 million. It's what would the Leafs have to give up if they ate that, right? Which I don't think would be worth it. Then there's Chicago, and there's two goalies here we're looking at. Corey Crawford at 35, 6'2", 216 pounds, big boy. $6 million though. Chicago would have to retain. And I know they've got $12 million in cap space right now, but I think most of that's on LTIR. One could say Seabrook probably won't play again, and there's $6 million space right there. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this year in 23 games, a .906 save percentage. It's not horrible, but he's had his ups and downs. Then there's Robin Leonard. And we all know how great he is. 28 years old, 6'4", 240 pounds. I swear to God, Chicago's got the heaviest goaltending tandem in the league. That's another video. Now, $5 million he's making this year, and then he's a UFA, as we all know. We all know how well he did in the playoffs last season. He had a .936 save percentage with the Islanders. And the last three seasons, this season so far, in 26 games, he's got a .923 save percentage. Amazing. Last season in 46 games, he had a .930 save percentage. So, and then his last season with Buffalo in 2017-18, it was .908. But I think you're looking at a pretty good goalie. There might be some questions about, how he might be in the locker room and blah, blah, blah. But I think he's proven his life is a lot more stable now. On that side of things. So, and then, of course, let's look at New York Rangers Georgiev, the one that the Leafs probably want most, and everyone wants, Leaf fans anyways, them to trade for. And it makes the most sense because New York Rangers are looking for young NHL forwards with talent, and Leafs have got a plethora of that because the Rangers have got enough defensive prospects and who are coming up in the pipeline, and they've got a new goaltender in Igor Shesterkin. If I know I butchered that probably, but he's 24 years old, by the way, had amazing KHL numbers. And I think this year he only played 2 NHL games. He had a .926 save percentage, by the way. In the AHL in 23 games this year, he had a .932 save percentage. And his KHL numbers are through the roof. But we're talking about Georgiev, who's 23 years old, 6'1", little small for a goaltender. He's making $792,000, just over that this year, and then he's in the RFA with arbitration rights after that. So that also makes him appealing. The Leafs could probably sign him for under $3 million, you would think, or $3 million-ish the next season. Because Frederik Andersen, he's got what? He's got 2 years left on his contract. Is it 3? Frederik Andersen, yeah, this season and next season at $5 million, and then he's a UFA, and he's 30 years old. He'll be a 32 then. I don't see the Leafs re-signing Andersen. I know he's a great goaltender, but I don't think they'll be able to afford him. Really, he's going to probably want more than $5 million, and after 32 and up, I don't know. I don't know about that. Leafs do have some prospects in Jason and Woll and Ian Scott and Joseph Woll, but they're 21 and they look like they're at least 3 years away from an NHL peak even. So Georgiev would be a nice stopgap in between those guys. And in a 2017-18 season, in 10 games, he had a .918 save percentage. Last season, in 33 games, he had a .914 save percentage. And this season, in 21 games so far, he's at a .911 save percentage. So, he regressed a little bit so far this season. But I think the truth is maybe somewhere in between there, which would be great for Toronto right now. And again, he's young. He could probably improve. And the marriage, who could go the other way? You're probably looking at Andreas Johnsson or Kapanen going to the Rangers, along with maybe Jeremy Bracco. Jeremy Bracco is a forward in the AHL who, because of the Leafs' depth on the wing, just hasn't been able to crack the lineup. Now he's almost a point per game, I want to say, player for the Leafs. He's more of a playmaker, a lot of assists, much more assists than goals. But he's an amazing skater, a killer on the power play. I would definitely see him cracking the Rangers middle six at least right away. His the negative about him is that his defensive game needs some work. But I mean, you shelter him, in this first couple of years, hopefully he will learn. What would come back the other way besides Georgiev if it was like Bracco and Janssen? Because Janssen has got I think he's got 4 more years and around $3 million on his contract, so it's a real friendly, and then he's a UFA, so it's a good term for the Rangers. And Johnson can play. He can play in the top 9. He could be on the first line, second line, third line winger. He gets in front of the net. He gets dirty. He's a great puck hound. He chips in a lot of goals in around the danger area along the net. He'd be a great addition for them. So maybe it'd be Kreider with Georgiev coming the other way, or maybe a defensive prospect. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. Where you think Toronto might go in terms of goaltending. I think Campbell from the Kings or Ryan Miller from the Ducks, besides Georgiev, will be probably one of their main targets. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button if you like this video. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And hey, if you happen to have any Hockey Geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.